Hey FabFitFun, welcome to Female Founder Chats. I'm Hillary, I'm the Stiletto gal, and I'm really excited to interview Mary Vallarta of FAB Counsel and also the co-founder of the Collective Conference. Hey Mary.
Hey Hillary.
How are you?
I'm great, how are you?
Good, it's so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Isn't this fantastic, FabFitFun?
It's the first time I've been here. Their offices are amazing.
They are amazing, I agree. So can you tell us a little bit about the FAB Counsel and what you guys do?
Sure. So FAB Counsel stands for Fashion and Business Council, and our main mission is to provide entrepreneurs insights, tools, and resources to building a profitable and also mindful fashion business.
Love it. Well, it's so hard to build a fashion business.
It is. It's one of the toughest industries out there to quote unquote make it or become successful at.
Yeah.
So our mission is to basically empower those entrepreneurs to creating a business that isn't only profitable but also makes sense to who they are and what kind of lifestyle they want to live.
So it takes those people who are really creative and gives them a business mind.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
I think it's so important because there are so many designers out there who don't have the business behind them and they don't know how to run their business. So it's such a great idea.
You hit it right in the head because that's exactly what I noticed when I started this business is a lot of the designers, the aspiring retailers, they have the creative eye. That isn't the problem.
Yeah.
It's the business know-how, the retail math, the retail forecasting planning that they don't really have a lot of experience in. And I can't really blame them. Maybe that wasn't taught in school or they didn't get that in their experience while working. So my job is to provide that kind of knowledge to them so they have a better chance of really making it out there.
That's so important. I'm so happy that you have this. So what are 3 tips that you can give to aspiring fashion entrepreneurs?
First tip is watch out for analysis paralysis.
Okay.
My thing is you're never going to get it perfect the first time. The most important thing is get your product out there in the market so you can actually get real data, real sales data. And what you're going to do with that sales data is figure out what sells and what doesn't. And then iterate on what does, and then you're one step closer to actually having a fashion business or fashion brand that actually sells.
Yeah, and now would you say that should you talk to your friends and kind of become your own focus group to help you with your business?
Absolutely. I think one of the best and most effective ways to figure out if this is going to sell is to ask people who might actually be your customers, right? Ask them their opinion. Ask them to wear it if the fit is good. Fit is really important when it comes to a fashion brand, being able to sell and get customers back. If it doesn't fit well, then why would a customer come back, right?
Right, of course.
Yeah. And then the next tip that I would have is really concentrate on creating a marketing plan. Because nobody's gonna know your fashion brand or where your store is unless you're really promoting it out there. So you don't have to have a super huge budget to do that. You just have to really think about who your customers are and where can you communicate to them and what kind of message will you tell them that is clear about your brand.
Right. So you work with a lot of digital influencers as well.
I do.
So can you tell us what you're doing with the digital influencers that have helped the brands that you work with?
Sure. So some of the brands that I work with, some clients that I have, were really struggling with getting that initial traffic to their website or just kind of credibility or brand exposure.
Yeah.
Because they were new. They didn't have a huge chunk of customers or audience already waiting. So influencer marketing was really key in getting that first push of people, to their store or to their brand's website. So I work with the brands to figure out who their audience is and then which influencer has that group of people as their viewer or as their watcher, whatever you want to call it. And then we create really targeted campaigns that represent what the brand is and also a campaign that will resonate with the influencer's audience.
Right, and you have a conference that is designed specifically for influencers, digital influencers. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
So we had a conference called the Digital Influencer Lab, and I actually created a smaller version of that, and it was really successful. It was about 2 hours long. We had Cezanne Berzani on there, Jackie Aina, Rachel Nguyen of That's Chic, and it was very heavily attended and people wanted more. So I figured, why not make a whole day out of this? A lot of the young aspiring girls want to know how to learn to be bloggers or YouTubers and make a living out of this. So I created a conference out of that. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think it's so important. I mean, here at FabFitFun, they work with influencers all the time. So it's so important to have that influence and have those girls who are kind of teaching you to do like what they do to make it happen.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about just you in person. So you started your business how long ago?
4 years ago.
Okay, so but you were working in corporate before. You were with BCBG and some other brands. So what happened with that transition? What made you want to be an entrepreneur?
I realized that I didn't want my boss's job.
Okay.
I looked at her, and I loved all my bosses. I had a great relationship with them, still do. But I was looking at their day-to-day. I was looking at the challenges, the fun things, and I just realized that that isn't the kind of life that I want. You know, I kind of hit the point where I felt like this is all that I can get, and I don't want to go any higher. And that was really sad for me because I thought that this was it. I was prepared to climb the corporate ladder and become the CMO one day. That was my plan. But then, you know, God has a way of saying, stop, just stop. This might not be it for you. So I went through that whole sadness, depression thing and feeling guilty about not being grateful and not wanting to be where I am because I had such a cool job. Like buying for these companies is pretty cool, especially the discounts and the free samples.
No kidding. Gosh.
But I just really wanted to find that next move that I didn't know what was. And I started speaking with a lot of my vendors, and they were telling me some of their challenges, specifically with newer brands who were trying to make it out there. And then I started, I guess, sort of consulting them in a way that I didn't even know that I was doing. And I realized that I really loved it. And one of the things that I really loved about my job was interacting with all these brands, you know, the designers. And I realized maybe I can do this for fun, part-time, and then I started charging people, which was great. And then my boyfriend, who's a longtime entrepreneur, one day just told me, why don't you just quit your job and do this? You really like it. And before then, I had no inkling that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, like none. So he was the one who put that in my mind. And after about 6 months, I would say, I quit my job. I learned how to code a website, so I made my own website.
Wow.
It took me 3 whole days. I don't think I really slept that much because I was obsessed with getting it done. Ordered some business cards, and January 2012, that was basically it. Like, I started FAB Counsel, I had a website going. I think it cost around $150, and now we're a 6-figure company. So
nice job. I love that. That's fantastic. I mean, you're like an accidental entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I am too. It kind of happened that way too. So
that's the best, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Totally the best. And I mean, I think you kind of have to sit down and be like, all right, what do I have to do? I mean, the thing is that what's great about your company is that you have those tools for people to go to. You know, when I first started out, I had no idea what to do. I was like, I guess I'm just gonna fake it till I make it, which is what I did. But then you get the right people to come into your life to help you out, kind of your mentors and advisors. So
that is so important because a lot of the concepts, you know, the strategies of what built FAB Counsel was from my boyfriend, who's also in the fashion business. And he's been a long-time entrepreneur. He's owned a store, he's managed brands. So his insights were really instrumental to the success of our company. And he's actually part of it now. So it's been really great, but I totally agree. Having the right support network is key.
And speaking of support network, you met somebody very special who happens to be your co-founder. So you started the Collective Conference with Fariel Malou of 365 Hangers. So that's pretty cool. So she's obviously been somebody who's inspired you to do more. So tell us a little bit about the conference. It's October 21st, right?
October 21st.
Okay. So tell us about that because it's so exciting.
So Ferial is amazing. She's a dear, dear friend and business partner, and we've just been having so much fun planning this conference together, and I can't think of a better person to do this with. But the idea came out of both of our experience working with influencers and brands. And we noticed that those quote unquote fashion bloggers weren't just necessarily posting about fashion.
Right.
They were posting about which restaurants they were going to, pictures of macaroons from Bottega Louie, or you know, their latest destination or hotel they're staying at. So we noticed that integration of content when it comes to fashion, food, and travel.
Yeah.
That's heavily happening.
Of course.
And we also noticed that brands like, let's just say Turkish Airlines or Emirates, we're starting to work with these fashion bloggers and not necessarily just travel bloggers. So that's where it kind of clicked. I can't snap. That's where it kind of clicked. There you go. That's where it kind of clicked. And we told ourselves, why don't we have a discussion about this, you know? Why don't we create a day where we talk about the integration of fashion, food, and travel content, how the content that influencers are creating is changing, and how brands are leveraging that, right? And not only working with influencers, but also you see brands partnering with each other, right? To leverage each other's markets. So you'll see a food brand partnering with a travel, or travel partnering with a fashion
It
brand.
completely makes sense.
It makes sense. It's the same demographic, right?
Yeah.
So we want to foster those collaborations and those partnerships by having the collective happen.
Right.
It's a one-day event. It's set at a gorgeous venue, Wanderlust in Hollywood. And we got some amazing speakers coming, like Mr. Kate, Skinny Confidential,
Taste
Made.
That's pretty cool.
Veggie Girl's gonna be there. I love Veggie
yeah.
Girl. Destination Luxury, Stella and Dot. So a lot of really great fashion, travel, food companies, brands, and influencers are going to be there.
Fantastic.
So we'll have amazing talks. We'll have a fireside chat with Mr. Kate. And then there will also be segments where it's just fun and mingling, you know?
Nice.
We're gonna have a segment in the evening called Taste of LA, where 4 restaurants are gonna come and they're gonna basically sample, give our guests samples of their food. We're gonna have gifting suites and like a marketplace shopping area, so that everyone just really gets a fashion, food, travel experience.
I mean, that sounds amazing. I mean, you get to eat, you get to travel. You get education, you get to mingle with like the best of the best. I mean, what more could you want?
I don't know.
It's like a tasty tour of
A tasty tour. It is. It's a tour of the best that fashion, food, and travel you can find in LA.
I love that. So October 21st.
October 21st.
Wanderlust.
Yes.
And you can get your tickets now.
You can get your tickets now on thecollectiveconf.com.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see you guys there.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to come out October 21st, Wanderlust in Hollywood.
Yes.
I have one last question to ask you. This is something I ask all my guests.
Go ahead.
What
Shoot.
kind of shoe are you and why?
Oh my gosh. That's so hard. What kind of shoe am I and why?
Yes. Like you could be a flip-flop because you are laid back and cool. It's kind of your personality. Like what do you think you are? Are you a stiletto? Are you a flat? Are you...
Now I'm feeling more like a flat because it's more versatile,
Yeah.
it's comfortable, it suits my lifestyle where I need to be flexible.
Of course.
And comfortable because I have a 1-year-old baby. So I need to be able to get around and pick her up and still be able to do what I need to do.
Nice. Very nice. Well, thank you so much, FabFitFun, for having us. It was so great to talk to you, Mary. And we'll see you next time on Female Founder Chats. Bye.
Bye, thanks.